All right, let's talk about something that happens to, well, pretty much everyone. That strange, fuzzy film you feel on your teeth sometimes. We're going to get to the bottom of what that stuff really is. You know exactly what I'm talking about, right? You wake up, run your tongue across your teeth, and what is that fuzzy stuff? It just shows up overnight. You've probably wondered, what's the deal with that? Well, today, we're going to clear it all up. So your dentist probably throws around the word plaque, and you just kind of nod your head. But what is it really? I'll tell you this much, it's a lot more than just little bits of leftover food. It's basically a living, thriving little world right there on your teeth. Okay, so here's the textbook answer. A soft, sticky, colorless film of bacteria. But come on, that's kind of boring. That's just the headline. The real story, how it gets there, what it's doing, now that's where things get interesting. Now, what's a really great way to understand this whole thing? Think of your mouth like a city. Your teeth are the buildings, your gums are the parks, and plaque? Well, plaque is like a wild, uninvited party that's happening all over town. And that's the perfect way to look at it. The guests at this party, they're the hundreds of different kinds of bacteria that already live in your mouth, totally normal. But the party doesn't really kick off until you, the host, start putting out the food and drinks. You see, this party has a pretty simple recipe. First, you need the guests. That's the bacteria. They're already hanging out. Then, you need the party food. That's all the sugars and starches from things like candy, bread, and soda. And finally, you need the party venue, which is your own saliva. It mixes everything together and creates that sticky mess we call plaque. So you might be thinking, a little party, what's the big deal? Well, the party itself isn't the main issue. The real problem is the mess the guests leave behind after they're done feasting. That's the part we really need to worry about. It really all boils down to one thing. There's one true villain in this entire story, and that villain is acid. And get this, every single time you eat a cookie or sip on a sugary drink, you kick off what is basically an acid attack on your teeth. And that attack lasts for about 20 minutes. Just think about how many times a day that could be adding up. It's a really simple but kind of destructive chain reaction. The bacteria eat the sugars you give them. As a byproduct, they produce acid. And that acid immediately starts to attack the city that is your mouth. So what kind of damage are we talking about? Well, that acid starts to dissolve the enamel, which is that hard, protective shield on your teeth. When that shield gets worn down, that's what we call a cavity. At the exact same time, that acid is irritating your gums, making them red, puffy, and sore, which is the very first sign of gum disease. Okay, but here is the great news. This is not a battle you are destined to lose. Not at all. You have all the power you need to crash this party every single day, way before any real damage gets done. The key is, you gotta act fast. You need to get rid of that plaque while it's still in that soft, sticky, easy-to-clean stage. Because if you let that party go on for too long, well, the mess starts to harden into something way, way tougher. And this difference is absolutely everything. Plaque is the active party. It's messy, sure, but you can clean it up yourself. Tartar, on the other hand, is what happens when that party trash basically turns into concrete on your teeth. Once that happens, your toothbrush is useless. You've got to call on the professionals with their special tools to scrape it off. So, here's your mission, your 4-part party crashing plan. Brushing, that's your main cleanup crew, scrubbing the whole place down. Flossing, that's your special ops team, getting into all those tight corners where trouble starts. Water is like the bouncer, rinsing unwanted food out the door. And your dental visits, they're the city inspectors, coming in for a deep clean and to check for any damage.
All right, let's bring it all home. Let's recap the key takeaways, the stuff you really need to remember to keep that party under control for good.
So here it is, the 5 essential facts. 1. Plaque is that soft film of bacteria that just loves sugar. 2. Their acid waste is the real bad guy, causing cavities and gum issues. 3. You can totally remove soft plaque at home, every day. But 4, if you don't, it hardens into tartar. And 5, this is the big one, once it's tartar, only a dental professional can get it off. Simple, right? And this quote just nails it, doesn't it? The point isn't to have a totally bacteria-free mouth. That's impossible, and you wouldn't want that anyway. They're supposed to be there. The goal isn't to get rid of them, it's to manage the party. It's about being a good host who knows when to say, all right, everyone, party's over. So in the end, the power is 100% in your hands. Now that you know what that sticky film is, what it does, and how to stop it, you are fully equipped to protect your smile. The only question left is, how will you manage the party?